Out on the board the old shearer stands, grasping his shears in his thin bony hands. Fixed is his gaze on a bare-bellied Joe. Glory if he gets her, won't he make the ringer go? Click go the shears, boys, click, click, click. Wide is his blow and his hands move quick. The ringer looks around and he's beaten by a blow, and curses the old snagger with the blue-bellied Joe.
We need 2 people to be the old shearer and the ringer. So ask for 2 volunteers, children who aren't scared to come out the front, and we're going to give them something to stand on to start with. This is going to be the board where the old shearer stands. Companies give away these samples to the retail shops, and sometimes when they're finished with that range, you can get these offcuts. So this would make a lovely solid place for a child to stand. It's just big enough for a small child's feet. So that's the board. I've got 2 of these, one for the old shearer and the other one for the ringer. The shearer who's the fastest in the team. What's happening in this song and game is that the old shearer decides to beat the young shearer, the fastest shearer, the ringer. And so now we're going to give them a sheep. I like these plush sheep because when they've got their castanet handy, it really feels like you're shearing because you've got something soft to play with. So there we have the old shearer sheep. And here's the ringer's sheep and the ringer's castanet. And to make it a little bit more realistic, I use these pieces of offcuts of real raw wool from the shearing shed. I've got these from a shearer, but you might be able to find pieces of raw wool like this. You can still see the curl in it from your local craft shop. The other great thing to show them, and I've said this in the notes, is to pass around some wool that's been made up into spun dyed yarn. So this is wool. This is yarn, and this is what you make your warm clothes out of. So pass around some wool, talk about warm clothing. If you can get hold of some of this raw wool, pass that around, ask them how it feels. Ask for your 2 volunteers, and then you get to this point where you've got the board, the old shearers, and the shearer's sheep, the bare-bellied Joe. The bare-bellied Joe has very little wool here on the tummy. So that makes it faster because the shearer doesn't have to do that bit where the legs are flying around. And then we just let the other children who are watching the competition, they can be playing their castanets along to the beat, or they can just do click, click, click. Can either sing it or sing and play. Oh, one more thing to show you, and that is if you can't afford or don't have time to buy these plush sheep and you've got some farm animals handy, these plastic animals are just as satisfying. What we need to do is to stimulate the child's imagination. So any of these farm animals, any size, as long as it's a sheep, they'll know, they'll get the idea. So there are some suggestions for props to do. Click Go the Shears. I hope you've enjoyed this and it helps you engage your children so they get to understand what the story is.